Michael Keaton still got it, baby. The long-awaited trailer for The Flash is finally here, and I'm so stunned that I get to say this, but it lived up to the hype. While I'm not entirely a fan of Flashpoint being the first story we get in a Flash movie, I'll take it given the fact that we're being given Michael Keaton's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman, and Sasha Calle's Supergirl, who I hope sticks around for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The biggest thing that stands out in the trailer, of course, is Michael Keaton. As I said, he still got it, man. He still is Batman, and one of my favorite moments in the trailer shows why he's the definitive Batman for most people.
What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
The way he managed to respond to a panicking Barry in such a calm, cool, and collected manner is why people love Michael Keaton. His Batman, even after all these years, is still fearless. He's still ready to don the cape and cowl despite the two Barry Allens approaching him with a world-ending consequence. The experience that Michael Keaton's Batman has between Batman 89 and Batman Returns is absolutely going to shine throughout this movie, and I'm going to love every minute of it, just like I loved every minute of his Batman flying around and beating henchmen up. And while we're on the topic of Batman, it's so nice to see Ben Affleck in the role of Batman again. I've always kept the opinion that his Batman deserved a solo movie and deserved far more character growth than he ever got. I love that Ben Affleck looks like he's never lost a step in that role. His Bruce Wayne still is the best Bruce Wayne to date, in my opinion, and it shows in his interaction with Barry in this trailer.
I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
Again, we barely got anything relating to Ben Affleck in this trailer, so the most we can say about him regarding this movie is that I hope he gets a satisfying farewell. Ben Affleck absolutely deserves it. He truly does. Now, with Barry having both of these two mentors for different points in this movie, you can't help but think that Barry Allen is going to somehow be far more experienced than he's ever been in the DC universe. And yeah, that applies to whoever is still playing Barry Allen after this movie comes out, assuming this will be an MCU Venom situation where the next actor who plays Barry Allen carries the knowledge from this Flashpoint storyline one way or another. And honestly, this is going to be needed for the DCU's Flash because I still don't really like this iteration of Barry Allen by Ezra Miller. The only reason Barry Allen remotely shines outside of being a lighthearted character who constantly feels like he's learning the ropes is that he has good chemistry with nearly every character he comes into contact with. He finds a way to somehow connect with those characters and bring out the childlike wonder in them because he always makes people unintentionally laugh. That's the biggest strength and probably the only thing I can positively say about Ezra Miller's Flash outside of the cool Flash ring, of course. Like, man, I can't even say anything positive about his new suit because even his new suit is a mixed bag in my opinion. Some parts look good, some parts look bad, and that cowl is probably the most offensive thing DC's ever done in the DC cinematic universe to date. Okay, yeah, I'm being a little dramatic there, but you guys get the point. This is kind of why I'm not a big fan of Flashpoint being the big storyline for the first ever Flash movie. Yes, this movie looks like it's going to have multiple layers, with Zod being a big part of it, the Black Flash probably being the main protagonist in the final arc of the movie, and Balancing giving a send-off to its gigantic cast. However, this movie basically feels unearned considering nothing has ever really built up to it. The most we all know about Ezra's Flash is that he promised his father that he'll make something of himself as he fights to get him out of prison. He's gonna run really hard to prove his father's innocence, you know? Well, this storyline for this movie is going to absolutely live up to the hype considering all of the ingredients going into it. I almost wish we had something before it. I wish that we had a storyline where Barry Allen got some solo experience as a hero, just like Grant Gustin's Barry Allen did, so this story arc of him missing his mother, thus causing him to create Flashpoint, felt far more earned and is being carried less by the overall nostalgia or hype factor. It's not that this is a major problem for me, but it's hard to not notice how much this trailer does use Michael Keaton, Michael Shannon, Ben Affleck, and Sasha Calle to carry the hype for this movie's first trailer trailer. Again, I have nothing entirely against it since this movie does look good. It's just that I wish it felt far more earned due to it being a story that was being built within the current DCU rather than having this be done because this movie has been in production forever and so DC Studios can reset the DCU. What I'd like to positively highlight regarding this trailer though is the visual effects. Yes, some shots look a bit much, but for the most part, I do think DC's done a phenomenal job with the overall production of this movie if this trailer is anything to go by. The Flash's Speed Force abilities look legitimately fantastic. Sasha Calle's Supergirl looks dope as hell in all of her shots where she's flying, and Michael Keaton's Batman looks sick as hell fighting in some shots of this trailer as well. Of course, some of the Zod shots may be reused from Man of Steel, but who cares about that, right? Man of Steel is still one of the most impressive superhero movies ever made visual effects wise. I guess my biggest hope is that we get to see both of the Batman fighting side by side together because that could lead to some of the coolest Batman related action moments ever put onto the big screen, but I won't get my hopes up. I know that CGI and visual effects have been a big topic recently, which means that people will nitpick and point out some shots in this trailer and talk about how bad or cheap they look, but I'd like to mention one thing. The Flash is arguably the biggest superhero movie ever made visual effects wise. Like, this movie was delayed so many times, and the most recent delay for this June 16th date was because they needed more time with the visual effects. So yes, some shots may not look crystal clear or absolutely perfect. What matters is that no matter what, we can at least say that the overall movie from start to finish is at least good visually. That, in my opinion, would be a mission accomplished for DC. As a whole, I can't wait to see more trailers of The Flash. After having so much doubt internally, I genuinely think that this movie is going to be something special, and that is because of pretty much everyone but Ezra Miller in this movie. We don't even need to say anything regarding how special it is that Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are back together in the same movie. Sasha Calle is going to probably kill it as Supergirl, and I hope that if she ends up doing a great job as Supergirl, she gets to keep this role for future DCU movies, considering James Gunn did say that this movie will reset a lot of things and not everything. As for Zod and Ezra's Flash, I really don't care that much. I think that Zod is a great villain, so Michael Shannon will prove once again why he is one of the better DC castings. And in regards to Ezra Miller, it's obvious that they'll likely be replaced in the future going forward, so there's not much to say there. If Ezra Miller manages to somehow give Barry Allen depth and somehow make the Black Flash, who's clearly going to be the actual villain of this movie, compelling, then I'll genuinely give Ezra Miller credit. I just hope that DC has a good post-credit scene ready because everyone is probably going to be there day one for this movie. Once again, I can't believe I get to say this, but The Flash looks really good. I love how action-packed the trailer is, the CGI looks perfectly fine, and finally, the story looks like it's going to be intense and emotional. I can't wait for June 16th. All I ask for is a happy ending for both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck's Batman, along with Sasha Calle's Supergirl being good enough so she can stick around for the DCU in the future, and I'll be happy. Are you excited about The Flash? Did this trailer live up to the hype for you? Did it disappoint you? Let me know in the comments down below.